Hello, my country people. Welcome back to the news. Rufai Oseni sends strong warning to those calling for a military coup in Nigeria. Let's find out more as we hit the news. But if you're joining us for the first time, you're very much welcome. I sincerely appreciate your presence. Kindly subscribe and please don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Thank you, my country people. Rufai Oseni, the Arise TV, presenter, have and journalists have sent a strong warning to those bringing up ideas, those that are calling for a military coup in Nigeria, those that are bringing up the idea of a military government in this country. He has called on them to perish the thoughts, warning that it is an invitation to anarchy. He made this known on his official social media platform X on Sunday, saying he believes in citizens calling out the civilian government and holding them accountable, describing the military government as terrible. Oseni cited how media houses were closed arbitrarily and journalists targeted and threatened for doing their jobs during military eras in Nigeria. However, he urged politicians to be very careful, warning that their brazen lawlessness and destabilizing tendencies will definitely not end well. According to him, politicians must also stop the use of violence, warning also that the people need to stand firm and remove anything, the diversities of evil from the nation's electoral process. Well, Rufai Oseni have told Nigerians to perish the thoughts, to perish the idea of a military government, stating that the military government is a terrible government. Fela's house was burnt down, his mother beaten and thrown down the stairs, and in the end, the FMG claimed they were unknown soldiers. In the military era, media houses were closed, journalists were targeted and threatened for doing their job. The civil service was terribly damaged, and the military arbitrariness brought a culture of corruption to the civil society. There are stories of children who lived well in a manicured, loud GRA homes, and by 6 p.m. their lives changed from the worst when the sack of their parents was announced on NTA, and they were told to vacate their property with immediate effect. So I believe as citizens, we must keep calling out our civilian government and hold them accountable. But a military government is certainly a return to anarchy. So these things are really going to be terrible. Now, let's stop lying. Things were indeed terrible under the military in the time of Abacha. Inflation was extremely high. Life was difficult for the people. Our government must be held accountable. But then, it's not what we will call for a military era or a military regime. In the military era, the scale of corruption was bizarre. People must never stop believing in Nigeria. The last elections showed Nigerians can actually, put more effort. Nigerians must also hold the institutions accountable and see how to make democracy work. Also, politicians must be careful. Their bizarre lawlessness and, destabilizing tendencies will definitely not end well. The governors must not turn the local government to their fiefdom like they are doing now. We must let the local government breathe. Shame on all past governors that never held local government elections at the time. The politicians must also cease the use of violence, as violence, begets violence, and the people will stand up to remove the vestiges of evils from our electoral process, making sure that, yes, Nigeria will surely survive. So we must do the right thing. People, the citizens shouldn't stop believing in this country. They shouldn't stop believing in this country. But for now, people should perish that thought too. Perish the idea. So my country people, the renowned TV, Arise TV presenter, have really shocked Nigerians on his stand, concerning a military government in this country, and has revealed his position on a military government, stating that it won't work. It will certainly lead to chaos and disorder. He has issued a stern warning against the notion of a military government in this country, making it known that surely it would lead to chaos, it would lead to more crisis, it would lead to disorder. It's best we hold our leaders accountable than going back to the military era. A lot of things were damaged during the military era. So Nigerians shouldn't go back to Egypt. We shouldn't go back to Egypt though. He went on to condemn the historical record of the military rule, highlighting instances where media outlets were shut down, journalists faced threats and prosecution while performing their duties, you know. So, out of all this, he has cautioned politicians to exercise caution as their flagrant disregard of the law and disruptive behavior will eventually lead to unfavorable consequences. He has called for an end to the political violence and urged the people to remain steadfast in their efforts to eradicate corruption from the nation's political, that's a electoral system. So, my country people, the military government, according to Rufai Oseni, is terrible. Is a terrible government. Even Fela House, the almighty Fela's house was burned down. A video was trending one time when a fella's mother narrated how she was beaten, how she was thrown down the stairs, and at the end of the day, they claimed it was an unknown soldiers. So we wouldn't want that type of government at this point, because a lot will really happen. We are complaining that, oh, corruption, corruption, corruption. Life is hard. Life is difficult. Life was extremely difficult for Nigerians under the military rule at the time of Abacha. Inflation was extremely high. Life was difficult. But it's best we hold our government accountable when we are in a civilian government where our leaders can be held accountable. Some of them can also be prosecuted, for their wrongdoings while in office. So Nigerians should never stop believing in the betterment of Nigeria. The last elections have showed that people are really ready to change the perspective of this nation. So politicians must be careful so that a revolution wouldn't, take place. So my country people, I'm dropping here. Kindly share your thoughts on this in the comment section. Thank you.